Anyways, so let's quickly look at electronic configuration. We have over here, this is a principle that your book talks about, right? In the order which electron shells are filled. So we start out with the 1s shell, and then these arrows, it's kind of a nice way to work through this. So we start out with the 1s shell, and then we go down, right? So one way you can look at it is you finish filling up this shell, then you come back around and fill up the next shell like that. Then you come back around, you fill up the next shells like that, right? And then you come back around, you fill up the next shells like that. So you basically keep going down the line in filling the shells. So we fill up these shells, 1s, then we fill up the 2s shells, then we fill up the 2p shells and the 3s shells, then we fill up the 3p shells and the 4s shells, then we fill up the 3d shells and the 4p shells and the 5s shells before we go back and fill up the 4d shells and the 5p shells. So there's an order in which you go with in filling up the shells. So that's where electronic configuration begins in terms of how do I do it. So then we come back here. I only wrote the first 20 elements, their symbols, and we start out with the first one, right? I feel like a weatherman right now, but anyways, you fill out the first one, right? You know how the weather people show you and the tornado is coming. Okay, so let's go down, starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That is all I need from students, is the first 20 elements, the electronic configuration. So hydrogen, helium, lithium. Now you should be comfortable with all these symbols though. So hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, and so on and so forth. So we start out with the 1s shell. So for the s orbitals, we were going to only have 2 electrons maximum that will go in there. So we have 1s1 and 1s2. So the 1s is filled up, we're done. So now we're going to move on to the next one, which is 2s. So we go to 2s, and we fill up the 1s2 again, but then we go to 2s1. Then we go back to the 4th element, and we say 1s2, and then 2s2. Then we go to the 5th element, we have 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Now, you will notice that I put these dots for these over here. The idea is for the rest of the elements, all the way to the 10th element, you're always filling up 1s2 and 2s2. You're going to repeat all those values here. So this will be the same thing, this will be the same thing. And then you fill up the p orbitals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how you fill that up. P orbitals take 6 electrons, right? When we're writing these in electronic configuration. So that's what's going on here with the p orbitals. Then we go on to the 11th element, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. And what's the next shell that gets filled up to 2p? It's 3s. So the next one will be 3s1 and then 3s2. So we filled up 1s, 2s, 2p, and 3s. What's the next one in line? You go back, remember we drew our line this way, it comes back around and comes down, is 3p. So therefore we have 3p1, 3p2, 3p3, and so on and so forth. And that's what we do to fill up those p orbitals. Then we get to number 19. Number 19 is where things change. Because notice that you've just gone in the order of 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s. The next thing you might, 3p here. The next thing you might think is, wait, am I not going to do 3D? No, it actually fills up with 4s first, before you go back and fill up 3D. So that's where the next one is 4s1. Notice we never used 3D, because we were never in, we never got to that energy level, right? It went from 3p to 4s, before it goes back to 3D, and then d orbitals take 10 electrons. So that's how we write the electronic configuration for the first 20 elements. Is we go step by step. We learn our Boff's building up principle. We learn our Pauli's exclusive principle. These are principles that will teach us how electrons behave in chemistry. Now, quick update on our science class, right? This is for chemistry and physical science. We are breaking off into 3 science classes this second semester. The first strand is chemistry. Some people are in chemistry right now. They're in high school especially. They're going to keep doing chemistry. Some people are in physical science and their math skills are up to par with what they need to do, so they will continue physical science. But if you're in physical science and you feel like, oh no, I'm scared of math, then you actually get to pause and you switch to general science for the second semester. The reason is because it is impossible to do the second half of physical science without a good background in equation solving. If you can't solve equations, then you're going to be very frustrated with the second half of physical science. So that's why we're going to give you a third science class starting basically after your test. You have a test this week. So starting next week, there'll be 3 science classes. The high schoolers doing chemistry will keep doing chemistry. The middle schoolers and high schoolers doing physical science will continue if they have the math skills. And then those who are still concerned about their math skills will do general science, where you learn about the circulatory system, you learn about different scientists, you do some experiments focused on that. So that's what we're doing for science, starting after this week's test. But your test is on Thursday. It is closed book. That's why you want to spend time studying and understanding the concepts that you're working on. Let me see if I have any other announcements for you. Your notes-taking skills need to be excellent for the rest of the year, because chemistry will only get more and more intense, especially for the chemistry students. We have the PowerPoint slides that everybody can use as a quick check, but here's the pattern for your science studies, and then I'll stop. Number 1, you read the chapter, okay? So on Monday, we'll discuss the big picture topic for that particular chapter. On Tuesday and Wednesday, you actually read the whole chapter. You read the whole chapter, and you do the section review questions. So your Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be intense. But that's because you turn in all your section reviews on Thursday, and then on Friday, there's no chemistry for you. So I repeat, on Monday, you learn the concept. On Tuesday and Wednesday, you do all the reading, all the section review questions. And then on Thursday, you ask questions in class, take your test, turn it in. And then on Friday, you get a breather. Some of you actually. Because some of you are actually going to have another science you do on the side, and that's what you do on Friday. So not chemistry. So on Fridays, I really want you to just breathe after working very hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So please work very hard, and you will see the reward for your hard work. So that's our new schedule. So now that leads to what should I be doing for chemistry for my schedule. Well, this week, chapter 9 and 10, I'm actually just I'm going to start preparing you for that. Next week, we'll get you through those chapters. And then after that, you basically do 1 chapter a week. So every week, we're doing 1 chapter a week. And that's what we're going to do for chemistry, for those who are in chemistry. Okay, those who are in general science, don't worry. I'll get you your materials, and we'll discuss more on Thursday. So have a great day. That is it for now.